You've probably been told you have bad genetics, maybe by a video that told you to measure your wrist, count how many fingers fit in your bicep gap, or compare your shoulder width to your waist. Those videos have some merit, but there's way more to the story than that. A wrist measurement can tell you a little bit about your frame. A bicep gap test can give you a rough idea of your biceps muscle belly compared with its tendon, and your shoulder to waist ratio can tell you something about your proportions. Although, your body fat and current muscle mass can change that ratio a lot. So that dude on TikTok with a ring light isn't completely lying. He's just leaving out three crucial things. For one, it's not that deep. Yes, muscle belly length and skeletal structure can affect the exact shape of your physique. If you're trying to become an elite bodybuilder, where judges compare every tiny difference between already massive people, that can matter. But unless you're stepping on stage, it really doesn't matter. If you want to fill out a t-shirt, look sick on the beach, or just become a better version of yourself, actually building muscle is by far the most important part. Second, these tests are distorted by body fat and current muscularity. Your waist measurement includes fat, and your shoulder and back development can change how your upper body looks, so it is hard to get an accurate read from simple measurements alone. And third, these tests tell you almost nothing about how much muscle you can actually grow. You could have less aesthetic muscle insertions and still build a lot of muscle. You could have perfect proportions and still respond slowly to training. You could also look completely average before you start lifting, and then grow like crazy. These videos take one real observation and push it way too far. People don't all respond to training the same way. One of the larger studies demonstrating that had almost 600 adults train their non-dominant arm for 12 weeks. Everyone followed the same supervised arm training program, but the results varied massively. Some participants showed no measurable increase in size, while others grew a ton. This sounds like perfect proof that some people have amazing genetics and others are completely screwed. And that is true, but that's not what this study proved. The researchers could control the training program, but they couldn't control all these people's lives. They still differed in their diets, sleep, stress, previous activity levels, and everything else happening outside the gym. The study also looked at one muscle group over 12 weeks, not each person's entire body over years of training. Some of the variation was definitely caused by genetics, but the study was not designed to calculate how much of the difference came from genes, and it definitely did not measure anyone's ultimate potential. The actual takeaway is much smaller, and it's that different people can respond very differently to the same short-term training program. That's an example of the three different ideas people mix up when they talk about genetics: your starting point, your rate of progress, and your eventual ceiling. Your starting point is your day one physique, your height, skeletal proportions, muscle belly length, natural muscularity, and where you store body fat, as well as just total body fat percentage. Your rate of progress is how quickly you respond to the training and whatever caloric changes you're making. And your ceiling is the most muscle and strength you could build after years of consistent, smart training. A wrist measurement might tell you a little bit about someone's starting structure. A short-term study shows that people respond differently to the same program, but nothing can tell you your ceiling except for you. That's especially important for teenagers because we have another huge variable: hormones. Two people can be 16 and look completely different. Differences in body weight, appetite, and muscle mass can make one person look way bigger when it'll all just even out within a few years. That's part of why teen fitness posting can be so dangerous. You also can't judge your muscle building genetics based on how quickly your friend adds weight to some lift, for example the bench press. Strength is not the same as muscle growth, though they are very closely correlated, especially for the purpose of tracking growth. But all lifts depend on technique, coordination, confidence, limb lengths, and practice. A person with shorter arms may bench more easily simply because the bar travels a shorter distance. That doesn't automatically mean his chest has better growth genetics than yours. And because he enjoys it so much, because he's better at it, he'll just do it more and more often, and his bench will go way up. On top of that, the same program does not create the exact same stimulus for everyone. A certain amount of training might be perfect for one person, too little for another, and way too much for someone else to recover from. An exercise that fits your friend perfectly might feel awkward for you. Once, I was showing my friend a barbell row, in my opinion one of the most fun exercises, and it just wasn't working for him, because his proportions were different. There are also cases where someone who didn't respond well to a certain amount of training improved when researchers increased the amount of work they performed. That doesn't mean you should immediately double your volume. It means that not responding to a certain volume doesn't prove you can't respond at all. Sometimes it's not your genetics, it's your program. So, how do you actually find out whether you have good muscle building genetics? You train. You follow a solid program, train consistently, eat enough to support growth, get enough sleep, get enough protein, and just see what happens over time. You need enough time to actually collect the evidence. When I started, I weighed 130 pounds. I could have looked at my frame, compared myself with others, and decided I just wasn't built to be muscular. But that would have been a guess based on an unfinished version of me. Instead, track your lifts, your weight, your photos under the same lighting, and then judge many months to years of data, not a moment in the mirror. If you're not progressing, don't immediately blame genetics. First, check on your basics. Are you training consistently? Are your sets hard? Are you gradually improving over time? Are you eating enough? Are you getting enough protein? Are you sleeping enough? Have you actually just given this program enough time? If those things are all in place and progress still stalls, then adjust something. Add more volume. Maybe try less volume. Standardize your technique. Make small changes and give them time to work. Training should be an experiment with your body, where slowly, over years, you figure out what's best for you. And that doesn't mean that genetics are fake, or that everyone can be an elite bodybuilder if they try hard enough. Some people start ahead and progress faster. Some start farther behind and progress slower. Some have structures that make certain physiques or lifts easier. Over time, you'll notice that some muscles grow easily while others are more stubborn. Your final physique will not look like anyone you follow, even if you copy everything they do. That's genetics. For most teenagers, your genetic ceiling is not what's holding you back. You simply haven't trained long enough or consistently enough to even approach it. And not to get too philosophical, but even if your genetics suck, what are you going to do about it? Do what you can and don't worry about the rest. Muscle Maurice, signing off.